Welcome to the Hangout, everybody. My name is Lee. I'm the host of the Play Guitar podcast, and very happy to spend Sunday afternoon together. I hope everybody's doing well today. Let's see here. As always, wiggle in the beginning. Peace and love, man. Peace and love. So we got Evan and Kevin is here. Lee is here. Good to see you, man. Let's see here. Who we got? Joe's here. Hey, there's Joe. And let's see here. Chris is here. Right there. And here's Dean. Dean says, hi, everyone. Thanks for the feedback on the t-shirt survey. If you haven't yet, we'd love to get your input. And there's the link for the input. I'm also going to mention that on the podcast tomorrow as well. So, yeah, lots of different shirts. I've got the kind of, not the dark, not the, deep green. This is a lighter green shirt with two colors, which has been pretty cool. Let's see here. Check 1, 2. He says voice mic, guitar is okay. So I'm showing voice mic. Can anybody hear me okay? Just put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me all right. Let's see here. Kevin says they are cool, Dean. They are. I've been having a lot of fun with those. Let's see. Should be. Let me check my mic settings before we go any further here. Check 1, 2. Yeah, I'm getting signal for that. All right. I found the voice low, had to put on the headphones. Okay, so let's see. Here, let me make sure all the settings are correct. Check 1. I don't know if that's any better or not. Okay. No on the voice. Very odd. Very strange here. Here, I'll just crank it up a little bit more. We'll see if that works. That's even lower. Okay, how about now? Delayed also. Mark says sounds fine here. Okay. Maybe I had my guitar up really loud when I was jamming, and then the voice. So let me know if everything's good. It says, okay, that sounds okay. So I cranked it up a little bit more. What we're going to do is, Chris says my sound is fine. Cool. Okay. Bunch of doubles now. Only one cooks. Okay. So what we're going to be talking about is, what is it right now that's got you really excited about playing guitar? When I get busy, which is this has been a rough week for me. Allergies are kicking right now, as you can tell. I got that kind of look on my face, and lots of work going on, everything. One thing that's been kind of keeping me together is what's been exciting about guitar. And so as I've been doing a whole bunch of other stuff, I've been looking at old Boss pedals. I've been kind of reminiscing about the ones that I had, and the different tones I got, and some of the ones that I had that didn't work out so good. I've I also have been looking at old Ibanez pedals, just the pedals that started off this whole uh, boutique pedal thing. The stuff before the Proco Rat, the Boss SD1, the Boss DS1, the Ibanez Tube Screamer, those kind of drive pedals, even old fuzz pedals, those things. And maybe it's because I haven't had my gear for so long now that I'm just done. I'm just ready to crank an amp up. Everything I've been doing is here through the thing. Dean says he re-logged in and it's better. Okay, not sure what happened because all the settings were exactly the same as from yesterday. So let's see here. Let's talk about what is getting you excited about playing guitar. Chris says, I'm excited because I feel I am sounding good. Isn't that cool? When things are working out. With guitar, it doesn't always end up that way. Sometimes you feel like you're searching for your tone all the time, or you're searching for your getting your playing where you want it to. So those times when everything's kind of working right, that's a lot of fun. Let's see here. Evan says, I've got three things to get me excited about playing, and most of you can probably guess the first two. Yeah, I think so. New guitar and recording, right? uh, let's see here. Chris says, in making good progress, confidence is high and excited to see how far I can get. Very neat. Very good. Um, saw Dino popped in. Awesome to see you, Dino. Right now, mine is gear. I'm having one of those gear times. So I'm really wanting to crank an amp up and get some old pedals and make some tones. In fact, I really can't wait until we're in a new place. Yesterday, we talked about in Guitar Talk, we talked about practice rooms. And in fact, I was started designing my practice room. It's going to also be the room that we hang out with. Oh, also, our special guest, if you haven't noticed, the Pest Killer 2000, right, has made it. It's making another appearance today. You never know. It could go anytime. We've already had two zaps earlier today, so at any moment, be prepared. It'd be awesome. So Evan, let's see here. Joe's here. Joe says, "I love music and the guitar is my favorite instrument." That's great, man. The we get kind of. I'm also thinking about some of the other things that Joe has that I've seen him put up lately about different styles of music too, and we get kind of tunnel vision when it comes to guitar, and what was really neat is something I heard Joe talk about lately about different styles of music that he just loves to play, just loves to listen to. It's all about good music and playing good music. So Joe's in a good place. Hal's here. Great to see you, Hal. Happy Sunday. Hope everything's good. Kevin says, I'm excited because my improvising is starting to sound like someone who knows how to play. Also excited to learn some Cornell Dupree stuff. Cool. That's great. That's the kind of um, feeling that when I feel like I'm playing something that makes sense, not just noodling on the guitar. That's exciting to me too. That's the kind of thing that makes me want to practice even more. So let's see here. Evan says, I reached a point where listening to my own playing, I feel like it sounds really good. I'm happy with my songwriting and my playing. So that's number 3. I feel like I'm really moving forward. So we got a trend going on here, right? We're starting to see some good progress. A lot of the founding members have been doing this for a good bit now, and we're getting a lot of results. So that's wonderful. Okay, so we've got Lee's here. He says, starting to see progress. Just picked up the guitar again after years of on and off noodling. Well, hey man, you're in the right place. We can we're happy to go through this with you together. We've had a lot of people in that same situation, and as you can see here, we got a bunch of people excited about the future with guitar. So let's see here. So Mark says says a couple months ago, I watched a ton of videos on a song I wanted to learn, and then gave up. Last night I tried again, and it all fell into place. Guess I improved. Huh? Yeah, and sometimes time can really help. We usually talk about how you're frustrated about something, and then you just say, I'll give it a shot tomorrow, and then you sleep on it. And I guess in your subconscious, you're kind of figuring these problems out, and then you come back to the next day, and all of a sudden you can play it. You hadn't done anything different other than you gave yourself some time, and maybe that's what it was, man. Tried it again, and all fell into place. Guess I improved. Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. Okay, let's see here. Coming back here a little bit. And Kevin says, perfect way to put it. Evan, feel like I'm moving forward. That's it exactly. Coke says, I'm excited about my loop pedal still. My musicality overall feels higher. Added depth to songs I already know. So it's like I've had all these ingredients, but now I've got an oven and a stove. Yeah, you've got some way to play these things, but also sit back and hear them as well, and kind of react to the stuff that you're playing. Loop pedals is I think the loop pedal. I've been doing a lot of stuff about pedals lately. If you guys have never seen Josh at JHS Pedals and the videos that he puts out, and he is he has a pedal company, but he is a fan of guitar pedals. And because of my little resurgence with this, and really examining my pedal board now and thinking about making some changes, what he's been doing for the past several years, I'm new to it now. I hadn't looked at any of his stuff, but his videos are really informative. They're hysterical, and they go through histories of the different pedals, and he's not just trying to sell his own pedals. He loves all these different companies. So I'd highly recommend, if you're into that, check the JHS YouTube channel. So let's see here. Dean says, I'm also starting to feel some progress on the fifth pentatonic pattern in coaching, and all five are flowing together. What a cool feeling. That's it, man. That's where you that's where you want to be. You go to the to a pawn shop, or to a garage sale or something like that, and there's an old guitar, and you see it's worn down in just one place, and that's the one, probably the one, usually it's at the fifth fret, or maybe two places, the fifth fret and the 12th fret. And that's the two patterns that someone had learned, and they just played those all the time, usually in the same key, right? Key of A or E. And once you understand, you get all five of the patterns down, and how they loop, as these patterns move up into different keys, the other ones come back. It's just a big circle. And you get to that point, and where you can see it, where no matter where your hand is at the guitar, no matter what key you're in, no matter what song you're playing, you have the scale that you need under your hand, using, when you think of the guitar neck as a whole, not just a pattern here or a pattern there. It's very powerful, and it's one of those big steps, in your journey as a guitar player. Once you can get to that, when you get all five of those patterns together, and you really get knocked up a level, so it's a very oh my god, what a day this has been. So, but getting all five of those patterns together, and then being able to see all five of those patterns the with the against the major scales, and major pentatonic in the full major scales, minor pentatonic in the full minor scales, man, that's where things really start going moving forward. So let's see here. Evan says, getting good at something I've been struggling with. Yes, getting those small goals and moving forward. It is really something. Let's see here. I just saw you got Ian Ash. Oh yeah. Ian is a friend of mine from a long time ago. He's an awesome drummer, among other things. Um, and he says guitar rocks. He uses it in music therapy, which is Ian's field, right? Thank you for being here, Ian. That's great. Yeah, guitar is fun, man. It's a lot of fun. Percussion's fun too. You know, it's just a different way of going at it. So it's great to see you, Ian. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Let's see here. Um, so oh yeah, Dean loved it when those patterns started to come together. It's good stuff. It sure is, man. Um, so Joe, let's get another thing for Joe is um, playing rhythm and strumming. And Joe is, you know, I feel very, I feel not that I went through exactly the same thing, but I kind of came into the guitar in the same way that Joe did, where lead guitar was what I wanted to do. I heard lead guitar. I was like, that's what I want to do. I know a couple of our other students. I know Cheryl was the same way. I was the same way when I started. Joe, David is the same way, where lead guitar was the focus at first. And so you come into lead guitar and you know you start go right into scales and patterns. You don't know anything about rhythm, and you don't know anything about. I know I didn't, and I had to take a couple steps back and go. I've put the cart before the horse. You know, there's some basic elements of music that I need to know about, which will only make the lead playing better. In fact, the lead playing is dependent on chords and rhythm. And actually chords and rhythm a lot of times dictate what you're going to do with lead. So not only is it being able to play chords and play different rhythms, but also the even if you're just playing lead, having a really solid understanding of maybe what the other musicians are doing, or if you're recording what you know being able to uh, have mastery over strong notes and weak notes, you know, and tension and release. And it's all about matching. Music's all about it's not music's all about matching uh when when you decide to match. There's also tension, right? And tension is a very important part of music. If everything in music matched perfectly, it would sound like the music in the elevator at the mall, right? You know, everything doesn't need to match perfectly, but matching is the vehicle, and you deciding, well, when do I want tension, and how much tension do I want to put in this music, or when do I want to sound inside, and how long is that going to happen, and the the blend of those two, and the you know going back and forth, it's it's deciding when, it's knowing enough about music and knowing enough about the guitar to decide when you're going to match and when not. So let's see here. And it says, definitely Joe, when you start keeping that rhythm going, feels great. And we're talking Evan's talking about Josh at JHS's videos. They're fantastic. That's the word he likes. This is fantastic. He'll take this pedal that most people would get, you know, when they're first starting playing, and can't get any results out of it. And he'll sit there and he'll let you know how fantastic that pedal is and how you've been using it wrong. And it's really neat stuff. I really recommend everybody go over there and watch this thing. Dean says struggling with rhythm and strumming, but working on it every day. Yeah, and it's you won't be struggling with that forever. It takes, a little bit of time, but I've seen progress with you already. So I have no doubt with a little bit of focus on this, we'll get past it. Talking about Josh again, he's a serious fan of pedals. Want to know about any pedal? He's your serious fan. So here's Joe. Joe says, to be strictly honest, I thought doing funk rhythms and strumming was way out of my league. I honestly think I have a good shot at it now. See, I know what Joe's been working on, and we've been isolating different strumming patterns, basic rhythms. And we started off on going back and forth between quarter notes and eighth notes and combining them in a different way. And now, where Joe is, we've kicked it up a notch. We've doubled it. So now we're going back and forth between eighth and 16th notes, and and that's where your funk rhythms lie. On most of them, and I'm glad that you can see that now. I'm glad that you can see that. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to head back. I've missed a bunch of chat here. Okay. Wiggle's still here. All right, man. Awesome. Good to see you, Wiggle. Um, Evan says, that what's cool, Dean, the patterns connect so many ways. You're going to experience a lot of that feeling. Yeah. Let's see here. He said, Coke says it's so fun too. You can just jam out on one chord and getting locked into the metronome or drum track. You just get lost in it. Yeah, definitely can. Definitely can. And Evan's working. I was doing that with the harmonic minor scale today. Yeah, we're doing harmonic minor, which is it's not it's its own beast in itself. It's a really harmonic minor is when so see so right in a only in regular natural minor you've got a flat seventh, a note that's two frets, a whole step behind the tonic note. And all you do, and this is what people say, oh, it's just the natural minor scale. You just take the seventh degree and lower it one, right? And so you think, well, that's all it is. But there's really, whenever you move one note around in a scale, you're really changing two intervals, right? You're changing the interval from that note above, and you're also changing the interval from that note below. So let's take a look at this. So we took this note here and raised it one. Okay, so our seventh is right behind the tonic. So the distance between the note below it goes from a whole step to a minor third. So when you have these scales, and going up and down scales, you're either going a whole step or half step, whole step or half step, and a different combinations of those. And you get into the harmonic minor, all of a sudden now you have a distance of a minor third in your scale pattern. And you also have the note, let's see here, I'm going to see, the note behind your tonic note, a half step. So you've got a really wide interval and then a really small interval in your scale, and it creates all sorts of cool things. A lot of what that's used for, traditionally, that if you're going to learn the harmonic minor scale, they'll say, well, this is used for here, and they'll try to put it in a box, right? This is where you use, where you turn it in a minor key. The 5 chord, if you did it diatonically, the 5 chord is a minor triad, right? Or and what ends up happening is we want to hear dominant sounds for our 5 chord, even if it's in minor. It sounds nice. So you've got okay, and that's a traditional straight out minor sound. Minor 5 to 1. What if it sounded like this? Now there is a very Latin fun. This off here. Now we've got a dominant 5 chord that has a major third in it. We moved the note, the B flat, up to a B. And that is the third in the scale. That is the third of that 5 chord in the key of C, which is a G. So you've got a nice B in there, which makes it a major triad. And then when you add the 7th, you get your dominant 7th. Really neat sound. So usually with the harmonic minor, they say that's where you play that. You play the harmonic minor, play it on that chord right there. So you play just regular, Aeolian or Dorian over everything. But then when that altered, not altered, but when the changed chord comes up, this is where you play that, and it works just fine. But there's a lot of other uses for the harmonic minor scale. So I'm excited for Evan. Okay, tangent over. Evan says music is fun, period. That's good. Let's see here. David's here. Just got back from kayaking. Very cool. Very cool. Ian's here. Awesome. Beer. Did I see beer in there? I see beer in there, right? Beer and drums and guitar, man. Awesome. Yeah. Dino says he was watching Keith Richards documentary on Netflix this morning. Cool seeing him with Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry was an interesting, different kind of guy. Very any documentary I've ever seen about Chuck Berry was riveting. He was quite a character. And then watching Keith, I remember that one. He's just hey, he's Captain Jack, right? He's just happy to be there and playing, and yeah, very cool. Yeah. Lee says, I'm trying to learn to relax when I play. Eric Johnson had a video where he talked about that, talked about what being stressed does to your playing, which I always found really interesting. And you see it. You see people when people get stressed, they tend to come inward. They tend to hunch over, right? And it's not even like the shoegazing stuff with your heads down. So your shoulders, your arms, everything. You can always tell when someone's really upset, and he went into how that affects the tone in your fingers, um, the angle of your arm when you're playing, you know, and everyone's going to be, especially when you first start performing, there's a lot of tension in that. And unfortunately, a lot of people will drink a lot to combat that, and then you have your own new set of problems after that. But learning how to relax when you play is and actually being able to have a good posture and being relaxed when you play at the same time. That's kind of the magic thing as far as performance. But as far as nerves and those things, I'm interested, Lee. What about playing gets you uptight or gets you not relaxed? I'm curious about that. Didn't Chuck punch him for touching his guitar? I don't remember. Dina says, I know they got into some point, but not sure about publishing. Right. Oh man, it's something else. Let's see here. Joe says harmonic minor is absolutely beautiful. It is. It is a beautiful scale. It sure is, and can be used in a lot of different ways. Um, Drinking to relax before a gig sounds great on paper, but it's not really a good idea. Yeah, you know, I've seen some people who will drink a little bit before a gig, and then that's it, and then it just kind of breaks the ice, and then they go. And then I've seen other people who, as the gig goes on, it gets worse and gets worse and gets worse and gets worse, and then and it becomes something that's not good, you know. And I think it really depends on the person. It depends on that when people are in their 20s, early 20s, and they're out playing gigs for the first time, and it's exciting and stuff like that, and things get out of control, and that's fine. But keeping that kind of pace up over time is not easy to do. Let's see here. Coke says Eric Johnson is just so philosophic about guitar. I love listening to him talk guitar. He is. He's great. He's great. Great player. I got to see up in Atlanta. Oh, was it? It's been a few years now. Boy, things are moving fast. Mike Stern and Eric Johnson did a tour together, which is if you know the two players, I saw that. I said I got to see that. So I actually made the trip up, which is it's like an hour and a half to get to all that, and it was fantastic. And they did a lot of talking in between too, and he's a really interesting guy. I mean, got to see him play a few times. Every time it was different. And all his songs that you hear all the time, like Cliffs of Dover and stuff like that. He doesn't play them the same way. Everyone on the internet's trying to play those songs note for note. And he doesn't even do that. He plays whatever he wants to play on them. Let's see. Kevin says he did. I guess about punching him over the guitar. He says he was that's all right. Coach says I can't drink or play or sing. Your timing goes out the window with my inhibitions. I just can't be bothered trying to stay in time. It's interesting. Here's Lee. Lee says, I'm not too sure. Need to relax in general. You described me to a T there. I played with a band for years, punky, grungy stuff. I always drank. Now I don't. Yeah, it's you know, it, it's it, it's some people use it as a crutch. They don't think that they can sound good unless they do that or other things. Um, I found that to not be true, but I've also found that there was a big um, period of time where you kind of have to find yourself again, you know, and it's like you know, starting to play. Trying to word this correctly. I know that my singing and playing got better. Here's the difference. The singing and playing got better. The being able to play more complicated things got better. Um, being aware of my surroundings. So when you're a performer, one thing that's never really talked about is the audience. You know, oh, you have to learn how to play my song and get my gear right and set everything up and like, and you can set up a set list. We when we were young and just playing, we'd set a set list up, and that's what we were going to play, and we were going to play that, and then that was it. And if you're playing in small clubs, you're very maybe that works out when you're playing big places, and you're just presenting this is what we do. But I found that I was able to read the audience a lot better. I was more aware of what was going on. I wasn't so focused on all the other stuff, and you know, uh, picking the right songs for the right time and really making a great performance. It was. I found that was better. Everything was better, but at first it was very awkward, you know, because I stopped drinking a long time ago. It was a little awkward at first. There's definitely a period of time it takes to get ready, to go up there without the crutch, you know. Um, but you said I'm not too sure. Need to relax in general. It's music, and something that we talked about a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. I can't remember, a week or two ago, and the value of music, no matter what stage along the way of your journey with the guitar, uh, how valuable your music is when you're just first starting out, and how valuable your music is a year or two later when you're kind of intermediate, and how valuable your music is later. Just because you may not be uh, where you would like to be doesn't make doesn't make what you're doing any less valuable to someone. Have you ever seen a band? It could be like a high school band, like a garage band or something like that, or a band, people who you can tell that their skills aren't really developed yet, but the approach that they have to the music, the approach that they have to the guitar, the love that they have for it overshadows all of that. You know, a lot of what we talk about is technique and getting better and those things, and I think that's a good thing to do. But I don't think I think a lot of people sell themselves short, and in doing that, they get down and they get upset, that they should be better by now, or that they want to be better by now, and that I'm not where I want to be, so then what I'm playing isn't valid, you know and that gets the shoulders. You start trying really hard. Part of this is uh enjoying. Music is supposed to be fun, right? Don't forget that. You're fine right where you are. And if you're working on getting better, and you're on it, relax. When you know you're on the journey, when you know you're putting the time in and getting on that repetition of working on whatever it is you're working on, your techniques, or working on songs, or working or just but getting on that path. To me, that's a really good relaxing time, because then, hey, you might have a bad day every once in a while, but you know what? I've done this enough. Tomorrow will probably turn around, and that takes a lot of pressure off. So I'm, let's see here. Lee says, I'll look for that video. And then Coke says, Eric has a 5-part mini lesson series on YouTube. I haven't seen that. What I've seen was he put a thing about I think it was art of guitar. And there was one before that. These were like DVDs back a while. Um, and this was just a small segment of it. But when he talks about stuff, he'll be talking about. Usually, he's very self-deprecating, which is you know, it's amazing. Somebody that plays like that can be like that. But he'll talk about gear. He'll say, well, I guess this, and well, I guess this, and then every once in a while he says something, and it just that's I get it. I get it. And this was the the part I was talking about. It may have been in um I don't remember the name. It could have been Art of Guitar, or it could have been the one before. But talking about posture and talking about relaxing, um, it's more than just being upset. It actually affects your playing. You know. So Lee says, "Perfect. Cheers. Thank you, Lee. I'm so happy you're here." Evan says, "Just to getting better, right?" And Dina says, that's why I love Rush so much. Basic chords with a simple backbeat. Yeah, fantastic stuff, man. And you can take, you know, you can take simple ideas and build upon them too and make something totally new out of all that. Okay, so that that's what I was wanting to get into. Was finding out what's exciting about you in music. And we kind of moved into some other things. I'm getting more excited about my tone. I'm really looking forward to having my amps back and my other guitars and all those things. It's coming. It's I can see it now. It'll be. I'm having fun thinking about the new practice room and the new content room and having gonna have a really neat getting some more ideas even from yesterday about um, getting different guitar tones and being able to share that, you know. Um, so let's see here. Evan says it's amazing what you can accomplish with the understanding of bar chords and the major and minor scales. That's most of it, isn't that? That's chords, simple chords, major and minor scales, which are the same. It's the same group of notes. It's just what note you decide is the strong note, right? It's very simple. Music can be very simple. It doesn't have to be as complicated as it can get. But with anything, you can get complicated with anything. Look at Twitter. Gosh, man. Every once in a while I go on there and I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. People are oh, there's enough angry people, enough upset people in the world. Play some music, have some fun. You know what I mean? Evan says, I'm excited. I'm getting excited about tone too for the first time. New Les Paul. He's got the Silver Burst. I think it's an Epiphone, right? It's not a it's an Epiphone, which are really good. I've played a Silver Burst Epiphone for. It's a really good guitar. Les Paul has a really different sound than my Telly. I hear how you can use them for different purposes, and I fear I'm staring down the rabbit hole, the gear rabbit hole. No. Well, here's a nice thing. You've got two good guitars, and you don't need another one at this point, right? Enjoy that one. Spend some time with that guitar. See what it can do. See if you like the pickups, all those kind of things. See, Dino says, Evan says, yes, the Epiphone. And Nino says, seeing the UA aux box on top of everyone's amps lately. I'm not familiar with that. Let's take a look at that. UA aux box. See what that is. It's a reactive amp attenuator with speaker. With universal audio aux amp top box, you can play your favorite tube amp at a sonic sweet spot at any volume level. And that's just the start. It features UA's dynamic speaker modeling technology. You'll be able to access dozens of spot-on mic and guitar cabinet emulations. Okay. So is that it for playing live or playing? So I know it's an attenuator, right? Let's take a look here. Let's go to Sweetwater. I'll bring everybody with me to Sweetwater and we'll take a look at this here. Let me set it up real quick. Just takes a second. And we'll see what Dino's talking about here. Okay, got it all set up. So if everything crashes, I'll be right back. There we go. All right, so we've got, it's the universal audio aux reactive amp attenuator with speaker modeling. Okay, so you've got your rig, room, speaker volume, line out, headphones. So Play your favorite tube amp at its sonic sweet point at any volume level, and that's just a start. It's a powerful solution for recording, allowing you to achieve those cranked amp tube sounds at any volume level. Many recording guitarists at Sweetwater prefer this method for maximum sonic control instead of a speaker cabinet. Plug your tube amp into this. Explore a whole new range of tone. Okay, so I got it. It's an attenuator and an IR loader at the same time. So you plug the head into, I'm looking here. It's a reactive low box. It makes it a natural reaction like your speaker cabinet does. Cone cry, last thing you hear. Lifelike speaker breakup as you crank. Even it's keeping the volume. You hear those sonically. I am really interested in this because it can go two ways. So it could be just you get you're able to turn your speakers down, right? That's what a regular attenuator does. It puts a resistor in between your amp head and your speakers, and so you can turn it down, so you can run your amp head higher, get more gain from it, but it's not pushing your speakers as much. And what's limiting about that is that your speakers are a big part of your sound, and when they're being pushed, that might be a part of the way the guitar sounds that you like. So some people get one of those and then get their amp cranked the way they like it, but you're not getting that sound of the pushed speakers. So what they're talking about is they have impulse responses in there, which are basically the EQ sounds of microphones and cabinets. So you can pick different cabinets. But is that coming out through your speakers, or is that just going direct? And that's, you'll hear lifelike speaker breakup as you crank your amplifier, even when the aux is keeping the volume at bedroom levels. So you hear the speaker breakup. Not only will you hear these sonically sweet complexities, you feel them as it responds to the nuances of your personal playing style. So does it put that IR and does it put those simulated cranked speaker sounds back through your amp, or does that just go to your recording software? I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more, but that looks like a neat idea if it does. Okay, so rig controls elect six customizable mic cab effects combinations. Room controls the ambient room sound of the rig emulation. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at that when we're not live. But that looks pretty cool. So let's see here. Tina says, I think it's either home studio for the attenuation or live for the emulation stuff. Thinking of tone at low volumes, maintaining low tones. Let's see here. Tina says, not sure, but I keep seeing it. Thought you might be interested. Yes, I am interested. I'm going to go check that out. So I've had a speaker attenuator before. It was called a Weber. Here, let's do this. It's called a Weber Mini Mass, and it did what it said it would do. But as you turned it down to bedroom levels and cranked your amp up, it didn't have that sound. What you don't realize is that you can turn all the knobs that you want on your amp, but your speakers have a ton to do. Your speaker choices, all of those things, there's a ton to do with your tone. And those same speakers don't sound the same when they're played at low volumes as they do when they're cranked up. So that would be neat if they used some sort of technology that has that sound of a cranked up speaker and put that through at lower volumes. So you could really get the sound of a cranked amp and truly have it at low volumes through your speakers that aren't being pushed so hard. So that, to me, that's what's interesting to me. I don't know if that's what it is or not. I have to watch a video of someone using it before. Oh, I just saw on that right here. We might get lucky. Get lucky, it might go off. So let's see here. Joe says learning and playing guitar is very personal to me. I spend a lot of hours by myself practicing and learning, and maybe one day play in front of a crowd, and that's pretty scary stuff for me. It's not as far away as you think, and it's not as scary as you think. If you that was the one thing, uh, other than the roadmap that we're all going through right now. The one thing about my group guitar lessons that it's different, doing online, is that at the end of every 12 weeks, at the end of every one of these levels that each one of you guys are going through, when we got to the end of the 12 weeks, we had a recital, and we would pick a song along with the roadmap we're doing. We'd be working on, we pick a song, then we pick, usually it's 3 songs per class. And the first level, I always pick the first songs. I picked 2 songs. So I think we did Louie Louie and Wild Thing. In fact, I know that was what it was. And what was really fun about that is you have someone who's never picked up a guitar before, never played, maybe never played anything before, didn't know anything about music. And at the end of 101, right where you get to week 12, we would take the same chairs that they sat in the room every time. It's the same people. They're using the same amps. I had amps for everyone to practice with, and I just took all those and put them in front of a drummer and a bass player on stage. And then they would be playing in front of over 100 to 150 people at the end of 12 weeks, and comfortable. I mean, nervous, obviously, but comfortable. I made everything they used the same music stands. I didn't make them stand up. They could sit in their chairs the same way that we practice it every week. And it was really valuable. It was valuable to watch, to see these people who in 12 weeks were playing in front of 100 to 150 people, depending on the how many classes were there. And um, it's possible. Now, right now, uh, I don't think it's really, right now playing in front of people right now is it's a risk. You know, it's a risk. There's people out there gigging now, though. I know it. I know a few of them. They're out there playing. Um, and hopefully, by next year, beginning of next year, sometime, things get better. You know, and Joe, you'll be ready for that. So the things that we've worked on, actually before. Hey, we did it. Yeah, man. Zap. Yeah. I'm working on getting a way to get to get everybody out performing. That's one of the things in one of the many reasons I'm moving to Orlando is to be in a place where um, people will usually come to. There's a lot of people coming to there for conventions. There's a lot of rooms, to be able to rent a room, get a room, maybe get a rhythm section together and play, you know, and having it be like events, having a Play Guitar Academy event down there. So it's a place where it's easy to get to. Everybody goes there on vacation. There's a lot of places where we could get together and play. Hopefully, in the near future, when we get there, gigs will be back opening up, and I'm going to have something that we could do something like that to really have some songs that we've worked on and get up there and play them. Maybe some original songs that I make. So I don't know. It's going to be good. I have missed a bunch here. Let's see. Okay. And he said, putting myself out there. And Evan says, I hear you, Joe. It is personal. It can be. Ultimately, I think we're all putting ourselves out there just to play. Yeah, it's part of it. Dina says, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it, Joe. Um, and Evan's been writing songs and putting them up there. Pretty neat, huh? Let me get rid of this. This. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, yeah. This now's the time, man. This is the best. This is the best time. It's the worst time for playing live music. It's the best time for everything else right now. So hop on, man, and just have it. You get some of those people who want to be negative. Just ignore them. And let's see here. Evan says, and I've played in front of a crowd. It's scary as heck and more rewarding than almost anything I've ever done. And it gets easier over time. You know. Dina says that's awesome. I think he was talking about our recitals. Um, let's see here. I know this was going to be a good one. We were going to get one before things were. It took almost an hour to get one there. Awesome. I can't wait to get out of this place. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so ready. M says, I cannot explain it, Joe. It's just amazing. You're going to get there. If that's where you want to go. And then when you do, it's going to feel like nothing else. Yeah. It's a big adrenaline rush. And then, and it's fun. And as soon as you're done the first gig, you think about, well, what could I've done better? And then you're already thinking you're on it's like you're in the second gear and you're already on to the next thing. Let's see here. John says, "Hey, I'm in Tampa. Yeah, we got a few Tampa. For what do you call people from Tampa? I'll let you say it. I'm not even going to take a stab at that, but that would be fun, man. Yeah, a bunch of folks from Tampa. A lot of I get a lot of emails from the podcast from people in Florida too. So it's a central location. If you're in the Gulf, it doesn't take too long to get there. If you're on the shore, it doesn't take too long to get there. There's a airport there, all sorts of stuff. Evan says, I definitely come in from NOLA. Yes. Dean says, do it in the winter. Yeah. 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 This is kind of the lost year. So all these plans are going to take fruition next year. So Coke says, I've got a friend that plays drums and believe it or not, always asking me to go jam. And he says, I feel derelict for not taking the advantage. Just need a bassist. You don't just jam. You don't need a bass player just to get together and play some music. Next time you ask, say yes, man. Say when, what time. It'll be fun. You'll have a good time. I guarantee it. Let's see here. Mark says, bars in my neighborhood, you play behind a cage. Oh yes, even karaoke, even if you're great, they might not like the song. I got a good right here in the town I'm in right now. Never played in front of something like that before. Played tons of places all over the country, never played that. And there was just one place here who put up, and also never got anything thrown at us in all the different bands I played in. Never, right? And there was one place here which was for a goof, right? It was like a themed bar. It was kind of like trying to be like a low down kind of bar, and they put chicken wire up in front of the stage, kind of like the like they did in the old time, like the Blues Brothers, right? They did it as a joke. Well, basically, what that does is it makes people feel comfortable to start chucking stuff at the stage. It never happened before, never happened since, but just that time. And let me tell you something. when glass hits the chicken wire, it doesn't just fall down. It breaks. It goes right through. So I was like, never get one. Did it one time, never again. I'll never forget that. Oh, that's funny. But that reminds you, makes you play behind a cage, even karaoke. If you're great, they might not like the song. Yeah, yeah. People are brutal, man. And Kevin says, sounds like the Blues Brothers, right? Where they throw the bottles at the chicken wire. Yeah. Um, let's see here. Mark says, I'm in West Virginia. Right? I played in West Virginia. That didn't happen. I played several places in West Virginia. But they, yeah, I didn't play any smaller places in West Virginia, so you're probably right. Um, so let's see here. Dean says vaccine in January, PGA event in February. Yep, that would be great. That would be just what I'm talking about. Tampons. Tampa Knights, Tamponi. People are going to write a lot of songs about 2020. There are people actively right now writing those songs because they're not out playing. So he says, I'm from Scotland. Well, hello from Scotland. Very nice to see you. Very good to see you. We have a few, not as many. Yeah, more a lot of Scotland for the podcast, but not in the videos so much. Videos are just starting. We're small starting. But wonderful to have you, Lee. Thank you for hanging out here. John's got to go. We'll see you, John. Dina said, wow, tough crowd. Yeah. We'll set up a Zoom for all the players across the globe. We'll play it on the screen. Yeah, that'd be cool. So let's see here. Yep. So what we got here? Richard's in Southern California. Welcome, Richard. Thank you for hanging out with us. That's awesome. That's awesome. Love to have some of your weather right now. It is hot and muggy and actually just finished raining a minute ago. Oren's here from Israel. Hey, Oren. Wonderful to have you here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let's see here. And Lee's been listening for ages. Cool, man. Awesome. Yeah. I would love to. We've got so many people listening from. We've had, gosh, I think I've said it. I said it the other week. I forget how many. The podcast has been really consistent, and we've been just growing and growing and growing and growing. And the way I would like for it to grow. We didn't just go like this and then just. It's just steadily. We're just trying to keep people and help people and keep people and help people, and it's going great. So I'm super happy that Lee's here from Scotland. That was awesome. Yeah, we got a lot of folks here today. This is fun. Yes, sir, it is fun. Rich says my 17-year-old has shown me at least 5 rap songs about the COVID-19 shut-in. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. All right. Yeah, well, if you're watching, that's why I try to remember that. I try to remember that there's a lot of folks, because I do this too. I watch a lot of stuff that I don't chat on, or that I'm working a lot of times and I'm watching YouTube while I'm working and I can't get my hands free to chat. So there's always some folks in here from other parts of the world, even in this country, that may be watching and may not be participating in the chat. And I always want to make sure that you are. I'm so happy that you're here, and I know you're there. And if you ever feel like saying hi, we would be more than happy to. welcome you. Evan, Evan says Evan R says we're going global today. Yeah, and Chris and Lee aren't too far away from each other. That's right. That's right. Um, all right. So we're at the top of the hour here, a little past. This was fun. I'm going to do a lot more of these, uh, maybe at different times. I talked a little bit yesterday about how restructuring these a little bit and making Saturday the big day for like kind of planned content or interviews. I would love that to be the interview day for Saturday, and and the and what I like to start doing is a lot more informal things like this, where I actually do a lot more playing and building tones. You know, just having some fun, building some tones and talking. You know, at maybe different times of the night. You know, stuff that's really laid back, kind of like this is. Um, Evan says wasn't one of the charter members from Israel. Yeah, Moshe I think is here. We have several. So Cook says, yeah, dang, Scotland, Australia, and Israel today. Yeah, different places. Yeah, and join us in the Facebook group. It's the best guitar place on social media. It's very positive, and as always in England. That's right. That's right, Chris. How did everything go today, Chris? How was your fun time today? I hope everything went well. Sound like a good time. Okay, everybody. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wind things down. If you have any questions, real quick, let me know. This was a red letter episode, the Pest Killer 2000, with the dedicated bug catching tray underneath, which is very creepy after a day. So let's see here. We got a Coke says England doesn't count. You're always here. I didn't mention the US either. Lee says I would have, but I've not had Facebook for years. It's been good. Well, Lee, welcome. That's awesome, man. Thanks for hanging out. Dina says thanks, Lee. Bye, everyone. Just as planned, Lee. So, oh, good. I'm glad you had a great day. Awesome. And Joe says, great show today, Lee. You're going global. Yeah. Well, we've been global, but we're reaching out more global here. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks, Lee and Coke and Richard. Great to see you. Joe, Chris, and Dino. Evan, both Evans. Richard. Well, let's see here. I missed this one from Richard. Richard says, I'm 53. I've only been playing electric guitar for 3 years now. Found your podcast 3 months ago, and I'm hooked at lesson 46. And at lesson 46, I've learned so much from you. I'm thankful for your podcast. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate that. It used to be easy to tear through all of them. At this point, where are we at? 130, 138. So it's a commitment. If you're going from the beginning to the end, you're putting in a commitment. So very, very happy to have you here, Richard. Thank you so much. And Craig says, hey guys, I'm from Melbourne in total lockdown. Oh goodness. Love listening to the podcast and the YouTubes. Well, welcome, Craig. Thank you so much, man. Really happy that you said hi. And feel welcome to stop in the chat anytime and say hi. We're very happy that you're here. Going back, make sure I missed that one, but let's go over here. And Craig says, thanks, Lee. Always appreciate your. Well, thank you, Craig. All right. Live podcast tomorrow afternoon. What's it going to be about? This has been a rough week for me. So I start thinking about that this evening. For Sunday, Sunday coaching, I'm about to get started on that in a few minutes. So I got backed up on some other things, and so it will be at most likely be out late tonight. If I miss one or two of them, I'll put them out first thing in the morning. So, all right, everybody, have a great rest of your Sunday, or for folks in other parts of the world, it may actually be Monday at this point. Enjoy your week, and I will be here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for another episode of the live podcast. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.